Alright guys, we got a two for today. Already did one video, but oh yeah, still got some hair. Last chemo treatment, not this past Wednesday before that, nurse told me, I'm surprised you still have hair. I don't under my armpits, and my beard's going out. The armpit thing just blew my mind. I was like, look Billy, showing my wife. And you never know. I mean, I guess it grew on me, pun intended. So I was gonna do, every time I do a video, there's something I think of immediately, like I wish I would have shared that. So this is one thing. I'll try not to take too long because the last video was way too long, and ain't nobody got time for that. I've had several people tell me, oh, you know, through this process of cancer and your treatments and everything, you know, you really seem like you're doing good with it. And I'm like, well, good. People give me compliments, and you kind of put you on the spot, and you're like, well, don't, you know, take it. But I'm like, when people give me a lot of compliments, I'm like, whoa, you know, it ain't me. It embarrassed me a little bit. And I was thinking about like being positive and, you know, not like getting down in the dumps far as through this process. And I was been thinking about that all week, and I'm like, well, there's two questions there. You know, how do I do it and why do I do it? And I was thinking about it, and I guess if you were for an atheist, or I guess you would, you know, there's a lot of self-help options out there where, you know, you can get a book and it'll help you build coping mechanisms and all this, set up a process to work through to get, you know, to maintain a healthy attitude, and then, you know, there's a reason they do it, is that they don't want to be miserable through the process. I guess you know, they want to get the most out of life, I'm guessing. For a Christian, I'm thinking the how and the why are both Jesus, because how I do it, well, how I'm able to do it is because Christ lived perfectly considering me in all things. He considered every person on the face of the earth, even though we're sinners. And I would, you know, everybody says we're the worst. Definitely. You know, I definitely had my struggles for years. And the fact that he saw that and sees what I'm going to do, he's still offered himself up as sacrifice. So sin is a problem. Jesus beats that. So that's kind of the how. The why, I guess, why would be addressing, you know, the why I'm able to be. I think it's a little blend of both. But why I do it, I can't say. I don't even think this. I don't like this. To add on to that, so like, we know what Christ did, and we get salvation. Like, so eternity's not an issue anymore. I was listening to a Christian apologist and an atheist last night in a conversation, and to me it just sounds like the difference in those views is finish line versus deadline. So for me as a believer, like, it's not a deadline anymore, it's a finish line. So I'm not going to get down about like getting to go home. I mean, don't get me wrong, I got scared a couple of times, like, you know, for a little bit. It wasn't something I dealt with for days or weeks, because I know where I'm going. I mean, I don't think that we don't understand this is mediocre compared to, like, we're living under a curse that we have to work. We're living under a curse of, we're having to deal with people who are just as sinful as us on a daily basis. And so why would I expect, I know how bad I am and how I've failed, in the way I've treated people, so why would I expect other people to treat me any better? I guess now that I know Jesus, that's a side note. Now that I know Jesus, but I understand what the process is now. Like I know where the finish line is. Know what the finish line. What's the process? We know what that is. It's conforming us to Christ. God is working all things to the good of those who. Now my difference in good, and Stanky's difference in good, are two completely different things. I'm her daddy. So Stanky wants to open up the cabinet and pull all the plates out. I know she can't do that because there's glass bowls in there. They could fall on her and hurt her. I mean, that's from the big picture standpoint. That's life. That's what we're going through. So I understand the process, and I understand that this time, from the time right before my cancer diagnosis, when we were being scared out of or my wife was being scared out of her gourd. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it sobered me up. Like, no, this is all a learning experience. Like when I say that I wasn't really scared of going home, it's because technically that's worst case scenario. But that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of selfish thinking to an extent, because you got to consider everybody around you and how you impact them, and whether you've impacted them when you had the opportunities to. I think that. So the process right now, from pre-diagnosis to actual diagnosis, was the scariest part. When we get diagnosed, they say, "Oh, this is something that we think is curable." That gives a lot of hope, but it doesn't change the struggle of the process. Like, there's still uncertainty. There's a whole bunch of struggle, especially for my wife when I couldn't walk. For her, so she's learning patience. I'm learning gratitude. And so the whole process here is just conforming us to Christ. Like, this is just another opportunity for God to improve on us. I mean, not to improve us. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's it. I think from my standpoint, I won't say that. But it's all part of the process. So we get so zoned in on, like last Sunday, I was down in the dumps, just anxious, like Billy, I'm ready for December. Like, I'm ready to get through this. This is so, I can't even look forward to stuff. And that's those slumps. You get that horrible thinking. You get that pattern of thought that's just all negative. And today, praise the Lord, He has brought me back and let me talk to people and get text messages from people that helps me get out of that and refocus on Him and the process, and to enjoy this time. This doesn't have to be a miserable time. This can be a great time. I've never valued things the way that I do now. This is all done for the good of those who love the Lord. Well, this is making me better. This is making us better. This is hopefully making somebody else better. So I'm thankful for it. It's a wonderful thing. I mean, trials are a wonderful thing. God is so good. I really hope that everybody, God, I pray that everybody will get to see you the way that I've got to see you. But like I said, I wanted to share that. Just wanted to, I don't know, I hate to leave something. One of my favorite songs, the lyrics say, "For every word we never spoke, we have a tear to cry. For every silence, like a wall between a better you and I." And that is the truest statement ever, because if we're not honest, man, it really shorts not just us, but those around us. Interesting, like, this is the biggest lesson I learned through our adoption. Was our fundraising. when we started the adoption process, the adoption agency was like, y'all need to do, you're going to do some fundraising and stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And me and Billy talked about it, and she asked me what we want to do. I said, no, I work. I mean, no. Do we have the money? No, but I mean, what's the worst case scenario? This is something that, you know, we need to go ahead and do this now. And if we have to borrow money, we have to borrow money. It is what it is. I mean, look at what we get. Look at who we've got. Gosh, Lay, my mom, obviously I'm gonna pay on her for the rest of my life. But about 2 weeks after we had the first conversation, and I had thought about it some, because I know I'm trying to identify when I'm prideful. A couple weeks later, she asked me again, like, this is it. Like, we've got to decide. Are you sure you don't want to do fundraising? I said, yeah. And she said, now, Daniel, if somebody else was adopting, would you want to donate? I said, yep. And so that's that argument. Like, why am I gonna let my pride get in the way? I mean, so I said, all right, we'll do it. Wasn't happy about it. So we raised more than enough to pay for our adoption, and had money left over that we got to do something special with. And I was just like, wow. My one conversation, one simple nope, we're not going to do that, was about to short us all the finances, all of the money we needed for our adoption. But worse, it would have shorted other people. My selfishness would have shorted other people, and that really blew my mind. So man, but anyways, long story short, that's where we're at. And I hope some of this was thought-provoking. If you could listen to the whole thing, hope somebody gets something good out of this. It's not the easiest thing to just throw yourself out there, but I'd rather be a little bit uncomfortable, make a video and share some thoughts. And I may get feedback that might change my perspective if I could be completely wrong about the way I'm thinking about something, so I could learn something from it. But more importantly, I can't imagine, like, well, you know, if I could have shared this at the right time, or just, you never know how God can use something. So just want to put this out there, and maybe somebody, I just pray that the right person sees it, and we will talk to you soon.